Okay, Steve. Well, this is the day we start on your watch. So we're going to go ahead and get you torn down and start the process of the restoration and service. Okay. Get your case back off. My son put an earworm in my ear this morning. I've got the Carpenters in my head. So if I start singing close to you, you'll know why. All right. Okay, so we're going to get to the bottom of what is holding up this lovely movement from doing its thing. It seems like it's a nice piece, but it doesn't want to run. Which is interesting. Seems reluctant. Which is okay. We will get there. Ooh, all right. Well, that gets to the start of the issue. There's some real crud. I don't know if you can see it here. That may need to get jeweled. We'll have to take a really close look at your fourth wheel pivot and this bushing, because I see rust. And that's not good. Rust is never good. Okay. Grind, grind, grind. All right, there's your stem and crown. That looks like somebody has had this stem out before. That's not factory glue. That is epoxy of some sort or another. I hope that doesn't make our life hard. So we noticed some ridges here on your crown. I'm thinking that somebody might have put this in some sort of vise and tried to take the stem out at some point and did that damage and then glued in something else. Okay, well, we'll have to be very careful. Very careful indeed. However, now that is pretty. Look at that dial. Man, is that good. Oh man, that is really nice to see. Very pretty. Okay, let's go ahead and get everybody out. All right, now we get to check your date of manufacture on your dial here. See if that is the one that came with the watch originally. I don't have any reason to believe otherwise, but you know, you never know. Factory service sometimes happens and things get replaced. So this has on it a 1-1, and I believe you have a 1-3, so about 2 months apart. So that's perfect. That's what we want to see. Okay, good deal. So there's your movement. Let's get it stripped down and taken apart. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Got some movement in your arbor. Got some dirt or shellac or something on your palette fork here. Take a very close look at that. That looks like shellac. That's weird. Why would that be on a palette fork? Alright, we'll have to take a close look. Somewhat loose. Somewhat loose. And somewhat loose. Not the tightest set of screws. It's clean for the most part. Whoa, okay, got some sticky pivots. Oh my. Oh my. Okay, I'm gonna have to take some very close looks here. Oh my goodness. All right. Those bushings are looking pretty rough. Woo! I think you may gain 2 joules here. That is a lot of rust. Huh. Oh, and you might gain a 3rd wheel. Oy. Yeah, that's pretty grim. Pretty grim. I'll have to look at this under the high mag, but certainly your 3rd wheel looks rough. I'll have to think about that one. I don't think your escape wheel is too bad, but it lives in joules all the time, so okay. Yeah, this might need to have the full jouling treatment, as those bushings are pretty rough. Woo! Look at that. Wow. That is some Arborport wear right there. Holy mackerel. Okay. Well, we know why we're here. Definitely needs the full beams. Okay. Yeah. So, it's not a big deal to replace both of these, but it does take extra time, and the jewels are not inexpensive. I've done that with this watch, but I'm very happy that I did because it just runs fantastically well. Other thing I'm a little bit concerned about is you can see right here by your... Is that bridge damaged? It seems that your bridge is slightly bent near this jewel. There's some damage right there. Not sure why that's there. Oh yeah. Oh, I can see. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you can see that. So apparently, let's see if I can put this under some magnification here. Do you see that? That little bit of metal that's been pushed by the jewel? I think when they put the jewel in place, perhaps even at the factory, they pushed that out. Oh my. Well, we'll have to take a very close look here. The problem is that if I jewel this bridge, and that ends up being an issue, then we've got a wasted... Let's take a close look there. You see that rust? There's rust there too. You may be in store for a new bridge altogether, but we'll see. We shall see. That is unacceptable. So there's a pusher that pushes these in place, and it's supposed to be centered on the jewel when it goes to push it in, and this one certainly was not, and it crimped that. All right, I'll have to take a close look at the clearances and make sure everything is aligned as it should be, because if it's not, then it's really not worth saving. Again, pretty loose. The hard part about jewel replacement is making sure you get the end shake right and make sure that everything is aligned as it should be. And that's a challenge. Oh, I got a graffiti artist here. Somebody decided to put their mark on this movement. All metal movement. You can see there's your metal intermediary wheel. It's nice to see. It's always nice to have metal versus plastic. Your date wheel. Okay, let's get the tire shock setting out. There we go. Okay. Your cannon pinion. And your fourth wheel. I also want to look very closely at your fourth wheel because sometimes these can suffer as well from premature wear from rust. Such a beautiful movement. It's hard to believe that these regions, these areas got so corroded. I mean, it's almost as though the water just went right there. But sometimes strange things happen. Don't know what kind of solvents were used as clean or as lubricants, etc., etc. You just don't know. History of service is sometimes worse than no service, unfortunately. Just one of those things. Oh, and a big hair. Okay. Well, luckily it's just on some of the less important areas. Not that you want hair anywhere, but certainly don't want it in the train. Okay, well, that's your movement deconstructed. We're gonna do some hard work here. So we've got a couple things we really need to look closely at. Your third wheel, your fourth wheel, your main balance bridge, or I'm sorry, balance bridge, your main train bridge. I'm going to put this under the very high power microscope, and see what we've got in store. If I were to make a projection into the future, I think we're going to have some jeweling to do. So that's for certain. We're going to jewel your arbor ports, this one and this one, but we may be jeweling your bridge. All right, we'll be back. Okay, Steve. Well, here we are. We're ready to start getting things back together. A few things to point out. You had this very interesting issue with your bridge. Now, I have made the decision that replacing your bridge is probably the best route. And the reason I say that is, again, because of this thing that I pointed out. This is your bridge. I'll throw a picture up of this thing under high magnification. I'll do that now. So what you see, hopefully in that picture, is that this jewel right here, this is a jewel from your watch. It's actually pushed sideways. So it's not flat. They're supposed to be dead flat against this bridge, and yours is canted. It's canted because of this weird, I don't know, I really do think that it's because of the way that somebody has pushed against this plate when putting this jewel in place. And I would have to actually go in and bore this out, reset your jewel, and I'm not sure that that's the right move because you've actually lost some material here holding your jewel in place. So I think the best course of action is to replace this with this, which is the exact same bridge for your watch. It is in very good shape. It has all of the bushings and the jewels are in very good shape. And I've put in your new mainspring arbor port, upper mainspring arbor port jewel in place of the bushing, as well as your lower mainspring arbor port jewel here in your main plate. So we're just going to replace this. I think, time and money wise, it just makes sense to do that. So your bridge will come home to you, and we'll talk about that a little bit more at the end. But for right now, we're going to start with the reassembly of your movement, and that means we have to place some of the components in. I've done some pre-lubrication here, so we're going to put your center wheel in place. Looks good. center wheel cock in place. And now for your packing lever. Good. Let's get your barrel put in. So your mainspring looked good. So that went back in the way it should. There we go. Okay. There's your escape wheel. I've also replaced your third wheel. So this, I don't know if you recall, we had a lot of rust, and your third wheel actually came out with your bridge. So this is a new third wheel. Oh, gotta add some lubrication to your fourth wheel here, where it goes through the center wheel. Good. Okay. Great. So now, let's get this handy dandy, nice new bridge installed. And there we go. Perfect. Good, 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 good. Okay. The snoring dogs have returned to keep me company here. Thank you, snoring dogs. Okay. It looks good. Let's go ahead and lubricate your bushings and jewels. Awesome. Okay. Now we can put on your click spring. For your ratchet wheel. All right. Let's go ahead and get that tightened up. Okay. So now we can flip your movement, lubricate your other side, put on your cannon pinion, and your die shock. Right. Alright, let's put your cannon pinion on. Okay, let's lubricate your jewels here. Everything looks good. All right, now let's put your lower die shock setting in. Okay, that's what we needed to do for there. Let's go ahead and flip you around. Then we can add your lubricated pallet fork. Your pallet fork bridge. There we go. All right. Let's see if that's going to move. Get a little flick, hopefully. Yes, okay. It's good to see. Free movement is what we want. One. There we go. That's what we want to see. Alright, let's nip those down and add some power to your mainspring. Good. Okay, now it's time to drop your balance in. There we go. Alright, see how we did. Okay, looks like it wants to start. So let's add your screw. There we go. Starting to move. It's always a good sign. All right, upper die shock here. Oh. And there we go. Alrighty. Looks like we're running. That's always a good sign. Okay, let's put it on the time grapher and see how we did. See if we need to make some adjustments. Certainly a lot better than where we were, for sure. Be right back. Okay, so here we are. Numbers are looking good just right out of the chute. So that's good. I think we're going to make some adjustments and see if we can get you dialed in here. But overall, I'm happy with what I see. These look great. Okay, so let's see. We got a little bit of beat error, so let's take that out. Let's give it a try. See which direction is the right one. I always choose, and then I have to... Yeah, I think we went the right way. Okay, let's get that narrowed down just a little bit more. You can see that the beat error adjustment also affects the rate because it's all interconnected. It's all part of the same piece. It's the hairspring that you're adjusting. Okay, so a little bit more. Okay, so I think we've taken out the beat error. Okay, now we've got to bring your amplitude up a little bit, because effectively we've lengthened the hairspring, so now we've got to go the other way with the timing here. Alright. Yeah, it's not bad. Let's get your signal back in the center here. Okay, there we go. Okay, well, I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. That's a remarkable improvement over 15 seconds of running. So I'm gonna let this break in and let all lubricants sort of make their way around the movement. It's looking pretty good so far. We might have to make some minor adjustments here to your rate. It's gaining a little bit of time, but that may settle down. Yeah, let's give that one more little tap in the right direction. Yeah, fractions of millimeters in terms of total change in the position of these components. It really is sensitive at this point. Trying to get these dialed in is without any adjustment screws or anything like that. It's mostly just pushing with small screwdrivers and tweezers. So we can get it close, really close. Okay, well, if I see it hit 230, I know we've done our work well. Yeah. Okay, a little bit more adjusting, but in the right direction here. Come on. Settle down. Doing good though. Goes through these sort of swoops. Goes up and then it goes down, then it goes up and then it goes down, but the average up is in the right direction. It's going beyond where it was the last swoop. Oh, look at that, 230s. Perfect. There we go. Into the 230s. Feeling pretty happy about that. I haven't even demagnetized anything, but I think your hairspring is doing pretty well. It might have a little bit of a bounce to it, but otherwise, I think we're good. All right, I'm going to let this fully break in, and we'll come back. But this is exactly where we want to start. Looking good. Looking really good. I'm very happy with this. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, Steve, well, here we are, running in the 240s, doing really well. I'm ready to start getting the other side together, so we're going to take this off the time grapher and reassemble the rest of the watch. I think we've gotten there. All right. I like those numbers. Okay, well, now it's time to finish off the assembly with the calendar side and the keyless works. So we're going to begin by lubricating your pivots here and these connections. We're going to make sure everybody's nice and lubricated, happy. Again, I apologize for the snoring. For those who don't have dogs who snore, this is what it's like. It's really nice at 2 in the morning when you get to put your pillow over your ear. But that's okay. They're good dogs. Okay. So at this point, I actually need to grab your stem and your crown and start that back together. I was able to get your crown and stem nicely apart and rebuild your rebuild your crown with a brand new gasket. So there that is. You can't even tell that I was in there, which is so cool. So that is totally rebuilt. Got a new gasket inside, which is one of those fun things that we get to do with these. Okay, so I haven't put any epoxy or any thread lock on there, but that will come in a moment. Let's do our lubrication here. We always add a little grease where your yoke hits your setting pinion. Okay. And where that touches your setting lever. The nice thing about the grease is that it stays put and withstands larger stresses, pressures. So I feel at liberty to add a little bit here. There we go. Okay. I always like to put a little drop on the back side here to make sure that this is pivoting as it should. Okay. Dog snoring. Lock everybody down. Good. Now, Mr. Spring, don't go. Oh my goodness. So much snoring. Hey dogs. Could you stop snoring? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I think it's getting worse. Okay, so now we can add some lubrication here. A little push. There we go. Good. Hacking is working. Quick date. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and put your intermediate wheel. There we go. And it's somewhat graffitied plate. Oops. Oh, everybody sit down. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let's lubricate your cannon pinion. Good. And your intermediary wheel, which I think is still in the cleaning machine. Yes. There we go. Okay. All right, good. Okay, last couple pieces here. And then we get to move on to your beautiful dial and hands. Oh my gosh, the snoring. It's never ending. And if I close them out of the room, they'll just scratch the door so they can come back in here and snore. Not for any other purpose except that. Okay. And that's how that goes. Now it's time for your plate. Good, and your 4 retaining screws. let's check our work. Should be quick date. Good. And now we should be able to turn over. Perfect. Looks good. Nice smooth action here. Everybody looks nice and flat, doing their job. Excellent. Okay, good to go. We're ready to put your dial and hands back on. Oh, that's nice. Okay. All right. Next stop, dial and hands. We're almost done. Okay, Steve. Well, we're here right at the end. Last couple pieces to put in place, and we will be finished with the service of your 6105. So we got to put your winding assembly. There we go. Make sure that does its job. Very good. Okay, 3 screws. Okay. Oh, goodness. There we go. Okay. All right, now it's time for your winding weight. And its screw. And with that, we can put your case retaining or movement retaining ring in your case. Put your lovely new gasket in place. And your case back on. And that is that. Beautiful. Look at that. What a lovely, lovely 6105. All right, well, I'll put that here for a second. See if we can get that to focus a little bit. Can we have that happen? Yes. Okay. Well, Steve, we have gone from a watch that was not running, really having a struggle, to a watch whose amplitude and operation of movement is really, honestly, some of the best I've seen in a little bit. This one is a stunner, both in cosmetic condition and in operation. I really like this watch. So let's go through it. Let's see what we did. Let's just talk really quickly about that. Okay, so like we've discussed through the process, I just want to go over everything one more time just so that we both have a good understanding of where we are, where we're standing on the watch, talk about all the things we've replaced and what's coming back to you. So, of course, gaskets. This is your bezel gasket, which is a hard piece of rubber. Same with your case back gasket, nice and flat. Here's your crown gasket, which I'm going to try and compress here with my tweezers. That is hard. So now you have a nice soft water resistant gasket again. This is your third wheel. Now you may not be able to see this, but I certainly can. And let me see if I can point it out again. I like this little magnification trick because this works pretty well. Let's see. That pivot, which is basically a pin that sticks out. I don't know if you can see the rust on that, but it is badly pitted and badly rusted. And that's a no-go for a component. That has to be replaced. So that's coming back. And again, here's your offending this is your bound. I'll get it right. This is your this is the bridge for your train, and the problem is with this divot that's been put in here, right on this side. It extends over to the other side, and it contorts. It actually screws up the positioning of this jewel. So in a sense, this is trash just because of that. There's no real way. I mean, it's not worth it in some sense to invest it. If this were the only one on the planet, I would say sure, we should probably do everything we can to save this, but it's a replaceable item. It's something where the time I would have to invest to get this right, get everything, plus I need to put new jewels in here, it's just not worth it. This would be, you know, a $200 part that I can replace with one that's, you know, nowhere near that cost. So that will come home as well. You get a new crystal. This one is incorrect for this watch. I'm not sure what the origin of this one is, but it might even be plastic. I'm not sure. No, that's glass. But that one's coming back. So you have a brand new Type 2 crystal. Let's go over everything we did. Full service on the movement, of course, which you just saw, hopefully. Everything works exactly as it should. Your hacking, of course, does its job. We're going to go through and turn over midnight here. See your date changeover. That should happen right there. Your hand alignment is spot on. So we'll go to 6 here. See if we can get it at 6 o'clock. On the mark. Look at that. Perfect. Went a little too far. Okay. Hands are great. Quick date, of course, is here. You get a nicely rebuilt crown, new gaskets everywhere, new seals. Crown locks perfectly. Overall, I just cleaned your case. Somebody has done perhaps some, I don't know what, to the back. This is usually scratched like a brush, a vertical line brushing, you know, this way. That's maybe just worn off, but you know, that's just the way the case is. It looks that way. So overall, you know, it's a great piece. Long sweep, early 6105. Just great watch. All right. Well, Steve, thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to getting this back to you, and thank you again for watching, and thanks for trusting me with your watch. I forgot one last thing. Here's your bushing from your upper mainspring arbor port jewel that was replaced in that new bridge that we put in, so that will come back to you as well. Okay, thanks.